Thanks for tuning in to another video, and this is the Amazfit Bip 6. It is a bright, large AMOLED display, a 2-week battery life, built-in GPS, with offline maps and the ability to import GPX files. You get the Zepp Coach and the Zepp Flow, which is the AI assistant of Amazfit, and you get more workouts than a reasonable person would ever need. And you can make and take phone calls on this and respond to texts. And this is only $89 in the United States. What else can you ask for? Is it accurate? Is there any cons? Well, stay tuned for my full review. And I would like to thank my sponsor, the letter A and the number 6. Oh, come on. I thought Amazfit was sponsoring this video. No? Did they even give me the watch for free? No? I had to pay for it? Oh, this is crazy. Why wouldn't Amazfit just respond to my emails? I do all these nice videos for them, and they have not given me any love, but hopefully one day in the future. If I forgot to tell you, Amazfit has not sponsored any of my videos and has not given me any free products, despite my insistent asking. So if anyone knows anyone who works at Amazfit, tell them to give me a call. But let's get right to the video here. Okay, let's talk about the build quality. So I got an aluminum alloy case here. We got the fiber reinforced polymer back, which is plastic, and it is rated for 5 atmospheres. You do have a speaker and a mic on here. You got the 2 buttons, and the screen is made out of tempered glass, and there is also no raised bezel. So if you ever broke a watch before or cracked the lens on a watch before, I probably would direct you to another watch, because this may be a little bit of a weak point. The watch is very light and comfortable, no issues wearing this day and night. So you do get a 1.97-inch AMOLED display. The brightness goes up to 2000 nits, which basically means it is very easy to see outdoors. It is very bright for a budget watch like this. It also does have auto brightness, but the auto brightness has just kept the watch a little dimmer than I would like sometimes, but it otherwise worked very well. The resolution is 390 by 450, and you get a PPI of 302. The screen is a bright screen, very colorful, very easy to see. I had no issues with the screen at all. It also does have an always-on display, and it does have 5 standard always-on displays, so let me show you those. This is not a tips and tricks video, this is basically just a full video, but I'll show you a couple of things along the way just to kind of give you a feel of what the watch has and what features are there, and then I'll go into a tips and tricks video where I'll go into all the details and show you everything that can be customized and everything that is available on this. But for now, let's just go into display, and we're going to go into the always-on display, and we got to turn it on. This is the style. We could follow the watch face, so whatever watch face I have, it will just minimize it, or I could use the style screen. So let's show that. And these are the ones that are included. Actually pretty nice. Again, there's 5 of them. Some of them have colors. They're digital, analog, combination of them. So not too bad. Now, the watch does come in only one size, and it does come in 4 colors. You get black, charcoal, stone, or red. And again, you do get the 2 buttons on the side here, which makes navigation pretty easy. And you can customize the long press of the top button and the quick press of the bottom button. Again, stay tuned for my tips and tricks video. I'll go through all of that stuff. And these buttons here are very flush with the watch. Very hard to wrist press these. I mean, it's probably possible, but, I didn't have any issues with it. These are actually look very nice, and I think the fit and fitness on the watch is very nice. And you do get a mic and speaker on the watch, so you can make and take phone calls. Again, great for a budget watch. And you do get this is the strap that is included, the standard buckle strap here. And let me just show you one thing here. So I have a 7.5-inch wrist here, and you can see I'm just about at the end of the wrist. And so, not too much of it tucks underneath there. So if you do have gorilla wrists or you just don't like the included band, no worries. There is a quick release, and all you need to do is push this pin out, take this band out, and you can replace it with any standard 22mm band. And I'll change the watch faces throughout the video so you can get an idea of kind of what's available. There are over 400 available, so there's plenty to choose from. But this is one just to show you the bezels of the watch. It is an $89 watch, and the bezels are pretty thick. But if you can live with it, it's not too bad, and you do get a bright screen on here. And if you do have a black watch face or so, the bezels are not as noticeable. Now, there's only 2 app options on this. App list options, I should say. Some watches have a little bit more. But when you click the apps, this is what you get. Just basically a list. And let me just show you quick here. If we scroll through the settings, and we just have to go through preferences. And this would be an app view. So we have the list view, which I like, or the grid view. And that's it. So you can decide which one you like, but there's only 2. A big selling point of the Amazfit watches is their battery life. It does come with a 340 mAh battery. Typical use, you get 14 days. Heavy use, you get 6 days. And with battery saving mode, which I never use, but you get 26 days. Now, I used it for typical use, I thought, and I got about 10 days. That's with all the sensors on, wearing it for sleep tracking every day, some GPS scattered throughout, and no always on display. So again, 10 days I thought was very good. Now it's not a wireless charger on this. You still have to use their proprietary Amazfit charger. So let me just show you that. It is the new puck that they have, and you just have to plug it into a USB-C over here. And it just clips on the back. And actually the magnets are pretty strong. So that holds it pretty well. So sometimes when you put it down, it falls off, but this one I think will hold on pretty well. And of course, if you just lay it nicely, it will stay there, no problems. Another nice battery feature is the battery manager that you get. And on some budget watches, you don't get one at all, but on other ones, you get one that's really not all that useful. But on this one, the battery manager is actually quite useful. So let me just show you that. There we go. It has its own separate section in the settings. This gives you the percentage of the battery that's there, but it also tells you everything that is using a lot of battery. So all the features that are using a lot of battery are listed here. And again, I have them all toggled on, but you could toggle them off right from this menu. You don't have to go searching and try to find it. It doesn't just tell you what is using a lot of battery. It shows you right here, and you could toggle it off right from here, which is great. And then if you just keep scrolling, you could change different things like this, like the heart rate frequency. You could change it right from this screen. And then you can change it and make it use a little less battery if you want. And then also, it is also telling you kind of what features are using a lot of battery in case there's some that you didn't really know used a lot of battery, and then you could toggle them off if you're not even using them. But then it also gives you details of what was using a lot of the battery for the day, which is great. So this is an Amazfit watch, and the navigation is very similar. You swipe down from the top, you get your quick toggles here, and all this could be customized. You could add them, delete them, move them, all that kind of stuff. Again, stay tuned for the tips and tricks video. Swipe up, you get your notifications. Swipe over this way, you get your shortcuts, and this has basically all your things that you would maybe list in your tiles. It has it listed here, and you can scroll through them very quickly, which I really like. But then you can keep going and go into your tiles here, and it just goes in a circle. So you go back and you go back into your tiles. If you're on something other than the home screen, you hit the top button, you go back to the home screen, and if you are on the home screen, you hit the button here, and then we go into our app list. I'll show you that a little more later. And then I have it set right now where you hit the bottom button, you go into your exercises, and you could, pick your exercise and get going. Again, all that stuff could be customized, and it's easy to do on the watch and the app, and I'll show you how to do all that stuff in the tips and tricks video. That's hopefully the last promo I give you for my tips and tricks video, but moving on. And they do have some watch faces like this with, some kind of a design with the video there in the background. And when you pick this on from the Zepp app, it will tell you this is a high-use battery function. If you really love it, great. But if you don't really love it and you want to save some battery, pick a different watch face. So Amazfit never lists the exact processor or the RAMs or the other specs, but it is just a little less smooth than some other Amazfit products. And there was just a very slight lag that you would notice. I mean, sometimes if you're just kind of clicking it back and forth, you could just kind of hint at something not being 100% smooth. And it's not, you really got to be looking for it, but this Amazfit is just a little less smooth than the other ones, but again, really no big issue here at all. I had no stutters or, freezes or anything like that. The software works great on this with no issues, but just every once in a while, you just kind of catch the animation right in between there. But again, not anything significant. You do get Bluetooth 5.2 on here, and you can connect earbuds to this, and you could also connect peripheral devices, such as heart rate belts, power meters, things like that. But it has to be connected through BLE, which is the low-powered Bluetooth. But it's amazing that you could even do that with this watch. Again, this watch is $89, and that's a feature that's very rarely found on these kind of budget watches. You do lose NFC, so no mobile payments on this. There is no LTE version on this, but you can make and take phone calls. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, and there is call coming through here. I could answer it, end it, I could mute it, or if you swipe up, you could do your quick replies, and these are all customizable as well. Okay, so let me show you what a text looks like coming through. There we go. So I just wanted to show you, you do get emojis and you do get photos on this, and these are our options. This is actually a very advanced texting system here. I got a keyboard, I got a speech to text, and I got emojis. Let me just show you those. So this is the keyboard, type whatever you want, and then you would just send it if you wanted to. You could do the speech to text, which works perfectly. I will call you in a little bit. And that was in real time, so you can see that's very quick, right? And let's do the emojis. Let me just show you what's available here. We got these, and you can scroll up. I always forget that you can't swipe over for some reason. I just want to do that, but you just go over like this, and again, there's a lot of different options for all these things. So a lot of emojis you can pick through if you want to use these. I mean, too many, right? And then you also do get quick responses. So these things could be edited, and you could have a list of like 20 of these, I believe. And then you also have the AI assistant, which is probably not going to come up with anything on this, but if you do have some text on here with some actual stuff on there, see, there was no useful information. But if you did have something on there that said, hey, are you available now to talk or something like that, it will come up with a response that's actually usually very accurate and very quick. And then you could just click on that and send that if you wanted to. So great texting options on this watch. Okay, let's talk about the sensors on here. You get all the standard health tracking. You get the heart rate, SpO₂, your stress. You get high and low heart rate alerts if you'd like. You get a low SpO₂ alert if you want. There is no temperature sensor on here, no ECG, no blood pressure, but that's not expected at this price point. You do get a compass and HRV measurements, which honestly is really not expected at this price point, but that is included. And in my testing, the heart rate was very accurate. As with all watches, it takes just a little while to catch up if your heart rate changes quickly, like when you're first starting your exercise or if you're doing any kind of interval training. It lagged just a little bit, but I had no issues with the heart rate. Of course, I'm not an extreme athlete, but, I had no issues with the heart rate. Let's talk about GPS. It does have built-in GPS. It is a single-band, 5-position satellite system, but again, single-band, not the more accurate dual-band. This probably wouldn't be an issue unless you have a lot of obstructions around you, like a lot of buildings or trees or things like that. Then you might notice an issue with the GPS, but otherwise the single band will work just fine. And I found that the GPS locked on very quickly and it maintained connection, and I thought it was very accurate. But I don't live in an area with a lot of obstructions. Surprisingly, you also do get offline maps and GPX files on this. And again, this is an $89 watch, so a lot of rich features on here that you would not expect. You do get 140 plus workouts, which is more than you would ever need. It does also have auto detection for walking, indoor walking, outdoor running, treadmill, outdoor cycling, elliptical, and rowing machine. And you could also change the sensitivity. So let me just show you that. If we go down into settings, and we're just going to go into workout and workout detection. Just click on here, and this is the things that it will auto detect right here. And you could actually toggle each one individually on or off. And you also have the alert here that you could turn on and off. So when the watch does auto detect that you are doing something, it will ask you and give you an alert. And then you could say, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just kind of cleaning or something like that. And you could decline it. Or you could say, yes, I am going for a walk, and you hit yes, and then it will start tracking it. If you want, you could just turn that off, and then it will automatically track it. But you could change the sensitivity right here, high, standard, or low. So if you find that it's detecting things too much, or if it's auto detecting not enough, you could change the sensitivity on here. So nice feature that you can do that. You also do get 25 auto strength training exercises that the watch will record automatically. And I'll show you more on this on the tips and tricks video, probably the last promo, I promise. But you put this in strength training, and then you go to the gym, you can do your workout, your bench press, your curls, triceps, whatever you want to work, and it will recognize 25 of these exercises automatically. And it will keep track of the reps, and you can put in the weight, and it will keep track of the rest period in between your sets and all that kind of stuff. And if it didn't get exactly right, you could edit the exercise, or you could add an exercise if you want, and there's hundreds and hundreds of other exercises that you can put in there. It recognizes 25 of the most common ones, but again, then you could put all the other ones in there. If you're the kind of person that writes all your workout data down, then the watch will do it, almost all of it, and then again, you could edit it when you get home. So it just makes things a lot easier, and it's all automated, which is really nice. So give that a try. You also do get the Zepp Coach on this watch. And the Zepp Coach is really nice if you are going to be doing a 5K run or something like that in 3 months. It will kind of give you a workout plan to get you to that point. You could also just use it for like a general workout and have a goal of moderate intensity or high intensity, and it will keep track, and you could also pick your workout days, and then it will keep track of your workouts and give you a goal of how long you should be working out today and what your heart rate goal should be. So you really don't have to think about anything. You just start a workout and it will tell you what to do basically. And of course, if you're improving, it will make the workouts harder and longer, and then if you're not, it will go down. So kind of a nice thing just to have in the watch, and it, again, very automated. You also do get interval training on here, and you can create templates for interval training. And of course, I will show you that on my tips and tricks video. Sorry, it just keeps coming up. And you could also customize your heart rate zones, again, which is really amazing that you could do that on this watch. You will also get a VO2 max, training load, readiness score, and a PAI, which the PAI is an Amazfit calculation. Basically, it keeps track of your activity over the last 7 days. Okay, this is the Zepp app. This is the app you need for the watch, and I'll go into this a little bit towards the end of the video, but let me just click on this here. I wanted to show you something. We're going to go into third-party account linking. So these are all the apps that you can send your data to. That is a comment that comes up frequently in my videos. So this is the list of everything you have, and this is actually very good. Some budget watches only have one or two. I mean, this has a lot of different options for you, so just wanted to show that to you. And I'm going to stay in the app here just to show you what you get for your sleep tracking. So let's just click on here, and it gives you a sleep score, first of all. It gives you an insight, and these tips are actually not just off a template. They're actually like AI generated, I think. And it will kind of give you all this information. Then this is all the data you get here. You do get the HRV data in readiness for some reason. It has some, different data there. But between the two of them, you do get a lot. But back to sleep, this gives you all your sleep stages. It gives you your time in there and the percentage. And if you click on it, it will give you more detail and give you a little information about what the stage actually is. This is, your sleep regularity. And you could do, you could pick how you feel in the morning and what you did the night before if you really want to. And again, this just gives you some data. So actually a lot of data that you get on the sleep tracking. It does also record naps. It also does give you your respiratory rate here. And it gives you your breathing quality over here. And they were supposedly going to be coming out with some sleep apnea detection, but that's not ready yet. And I don't know if that's going to come to the Bip 6, but the Amazfit is supposedly working on that. The watch is compatible with both Apple and Android. So let me just show you the apps that are available, and we'll kind of point out some details as we go through it here. So this is what's available, and so let's just go to heart rate. If you click on this, you can go ahead and take a measurement right now, a manual measurement, but then if you scroll up, you get some more data, and then you can go into settings, and you can change some details right on the watch, which is great. Just got a notification. But then also if you go into blood oxygen, same thing, take a measurement. It doesn't give you as much data here, but you go into settings and you can change that. Turn your alert for low SpO₂ on or off if you want. And let's just keep going through here. So you get offline maps. Let me just show you that. Click on here. Now, it's not the most advanced offline maps because you can't just scroll and move things around here. You got to hit a button. So this is how you zoom in and out, right? And then if you see the plus and minus there, then if you click this, we got the arrows to move. And if you click again, now you got left and right. So not so advanced with that, but you could get the map on here. And again, offline maps on an $89 watch, not too bad. And you also do get GPX files on here. And let's get back to the apps here. Let me just show you what else is available. Membership cards, you could add up to 20 on that. I made a quick short video on this, just show you how to put the membership cards on there. So if you go to the gym a lot or have a bus pass or a subway pass or something like that, you could have it on the watch and it will show that code and someone could just scan it from your watch if you wanted to. So let me just show you the music app here quick, just to show you the speaker volume. Now, it kind of sounds crappy, but it does get really loud. All right. So it's not anything you'd really want to listen through the watch, I mean, it's just not a good speaker, but it's loud enough to use for an alarm or something, so no issues with that. Let's get back into here. So we got the calendar. If you click on it, you get your monthly calendar here, and then if you click on it, you'll get your events, your upcoming events. And you do get a compass on this watch, which is great. And the stopwatch, the timer to find my phone, all that stuff works great. And the calculator was not a pre-installed app for some reason. I don't know why, but if you just go within the Zepp app, you could download the calculator, and it, works like any other calculator just fine. But I also did want to show you, let's see here. So if you have a stopwatch, which this is something that doesn't usually happen on budget watches, but we can have a stopwatch going. And now if I click back to the screen here, you can see that I have the stopwatch icon and I have a notification icon on there. And then, but I'm on my watch face. On most budget watches, if I have a stopwatch or a timer running in the background and I go back to my watch face, the stopwatch and the timer will actually stop. But let me just show you also here. We'll put a timer on here. And let me just do a 5-minute one on here. So now if you see, I got the notifications, stopwatch, and the timer. And then I click on it and it will take me back to where I was. and these will just flash each time. And if you want to go back to the stopwatch instead of the timer, you just click off and click back and it will start flashing them again. And then you just click it when it comes up. So that's really nice that all those apps could be running in the background. I got 2 things running in the background with no issues. Again, that's very great for this budget processor to keep up with. That's awesome. And the only other thing I'll mention is that the camera app does not work on Android. It only works on iOS. And the only other thing I'll show you here in the app list is the Zepp Flow, which is down here. This is the AI assistant of Amazfit, which is like Google or Alexa, and it basically does everything that you want, I would think. So what is the weather in Los Angeles, California today? And this is in real time. I'm not editing this at all.
It's cloudy and 55
so there you go.
Fahrenheit in Los Angeles. Expect a high of...
You could also use this to open up your apps or do anything like that. Start an exercise. Start outdoor run. And and there you go. Now it's bringing up my Zepp coach, and I have to go through that if I want. The Zepp Flow does work very good. It does everything that you want. I think the only thing you lose is if you have a smart device or a smart home and it's linked up with your Google Assistant or with your Alexa Assistant. None of those actions can be controlled with Zepp Flow. That's the only thing you lose. Amazfit had Alexa on its watches for years, but it replaced it with the Zepp Flow. Now, another thing to mention is that there are subscriptions available on this, but everything I showed you in this video is subscription free. Now, let's get into the watch faces. There are 400 free watch faces and then a lot more paid watch faces, usually $1 or $2 or something like that. Now, the customizations are very limited on these watch faces, and some have shortcuts, but again, very limited. So I'll just show you an example here. It can store, I think I have like 15 watch faces on here right now, so it can store plenty. But let me just give you an idea. Okay, so if there's an icon on the bottom here, then that will be customizable. And I'm scrolling through here. None of these are customizable. So this is the first one that is, as you can see. So not many are. And then if you click on the edit here, you don't get to do too much. The only thing you get to change is this thing. And usually you could swipe it, or then you just hit it. But these are the options here, and then you could put any workout you want on there, but you couldn't make it a shortcut for something else, or you couldn't have a weather display there or anything like that. Again, very limited. So now, they do have shortcuts, and a shortcut is if the information card is on the watch, and then you tap it, it opens up your information, more information. So, there you go. I clicked on the battery, and it opens that up. So, the shortcuts are more prevalent than the customizations, but they're a little limited, not as advanced as some other watch faces. But you do get a good variety of watch faces on here, and I think you'll find something that you like. You could also put your own picture on the back of the watch face if you want, and I'll, again, show you that in another video, but you're able to do that. The speaker, like I said, was very loud, I thought, and the vibration is average, and you do have the ability to adjust it from average to enhanced, but I didn't really notice all that much difference between the standard and the enhanced. But it's average. I think it would probably be enough to wake you up in the morning if you're using it as an alarm. But if not, you got the audio chirp that you can use. Okay, so that's kind of everything on the watch, I think, all the important features. If I missed something, go ahead and let me know in the comments. This is not quite the end of the video, but if you are liking what you see so far, please subscribe and like. I'd really appreciate that. And if you do add any comments about a feature I missed or something like that, I do take those comments into account when I make other videos. So that would be great if I had some good information. Now I'm just going to go into the Zepp app a little bit. And this is just to show you kind of what's available. I'm not going to go into all the customizations of it. So let me just open up the Zepp app here. And we got 4 categories of the Zepp app. The Aura is the subscription service. So if you're not going to use that, just go ahead and you could actually delete it if you want from this, but that's what's available for a subscription service. If you go to Home, again, you do get a lot of information on here. And then you got the readiness score that gives you a lot of information. Sleep, again, I went through that, but you get a lot of stuff on here. And then the exertion, I haven't done too much here lately, so not too much there. But then workout, it keeps track of all your workouts, and you get more data here. And there's some customizations you could do down here with doing your heart rate zone and setting up your training template and the GPX files and all that kind of stuff. Then we go into device. I'll just go to the top here. So you click on here, you can pick your watch faces. And again, there's a lot in there that you can pick from. The App Store here, I didn't really find anything all that useful, but there is the calculator in here. And a lot of these are free, and then a lot of them are, $1 or $2. So it does have some additional apps you can add. but there is no apps that you could add from Apple or Google or anything like that, so just to warn you. And these are all some settings here that we can change. These are some icons that we can change and put some more information into. And then if we go into the home page here and hit this icon up here, there's a couple of more things that you can get into. So a lot of things that are available on the Zepp app, and I think it's actually laid out very well. This is an updated version of the app, and a lot of information on here, and it's laid out very well, I think. The app is better than most apps, I think. So now we're at the end of the video. So hopefully this was a good video, and hopefully this helped you decide if the Amazfit Bip 6 is for you. I do have some comparison short videos about, the Bip 6 versus the Active 2 and the balance and all that kind of stuff. So if you're having trouble deciding which Amazfit product to get, check out those videos. It does become a little confusing because a lot of the Amazfit products overlap each other quite a bit. And some of the times at some of the older watches, the prices are kind of very close. So it makes it a decision very hard. So I do have some short videos on comparing those watches. And then, again, I have full videos on, I think, just about every Amazfit product out there. So check them out, check out my channel, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.